Hi everyone, Kristen Thompson here on behalf of Virtual Clarinet Academy. Today I'll be sharing with you some tricks for tuning the E-flat clarinet. I have some special suggestions for you in the chalumeau, throat tone, and altissimo registers of this instrument. If your E-flat clarinet is anything like mine, you might notice that the lower you play in the chalumeau, the sharper it gets. The nice thing about E-flat clarinet is that at least on my horn, notes that are usually very flat on soprano clarinet are a little bit better in tune, like E and F. However, my B-flat and A-flat tend to be very sharp. How you can fix this is by adding this right hand pinky key in order to bring the pitch down significantly. Listen to how that changes. As you can hear, there's a nice noticeable change when I have the pinky down, and on the tuner, it's right in tune. Let's talk about tuning in the throat tones. On many E-flat clarinets, these notes tend to be very sharp, and this is true for my personal horn. My best suggestion, regardless of where you're starting, is to sit down with a tuner and get to know the instrument you're using. It doesn't really matter if it's your personal instrument or one that you're borrowing from a friend or school, but really know the horn you're using and how you can make it work for you. So on my horn, when my instrument is pushed in all the way, my throat tone notes are about 35 cents sharp, which is too much. So the first step for me is to pull out a significant amount. So as you can see, I've pulled out a lot. This seems extreme, but I'm going to test it now, and it's probably going to be around 5 cents sharp. Okay, my tuner says I even went a little too far, so I'm going to push back in a little bit. Okay, so from here, with your instrument adjusted at the barrel, like you would on any clarinet, the next step is to find some resonance fingers that work for you. It's highly likely that these are going to be different than the fingerings you would use on B-flat or bass clarinet. For me, that pinch or B-flat that I just played, I have to have a lot more fingers down in order for it to be in tune, but the result is a note that is in tune that I can work with in an ensemble, and also the tone is better. Let me show you the difference. As you can hear, there is a lower pitch with the fingers down, but I also think the tone quality is even better. You want to spend some time finding a middle ground for both resonance fingerings and for physical adjustment on the instrument. It's possible that what works and sounds beautiful on your B-flat, for example, might make you too flat for your open G. You have to find a compromise, and I think you can use resonance fingerings to find a middle ground. Last but not least, let's explore the upper clarion and altissimo registers of the E-flat clarinet. This is where the instrument really differs from other members of the clarinet family in that there are some very special tricks you can use and some special fingerings that make tuning and control of the instrument a lot easier. My first little trick for you is that as you're playing from clarion G up through clarion C or thumb C, you can remove the register key as you're playing. What that is going to do is allow the pitch of the note to settle a lot lower. These notes, like other notes of the E-flat clarinet, tend to be very sharp, and this little trick helps the pitch significantly. Listen, I'm going to do an A. I'm going to play it regular with the register key and then release the register key for comparison. As you can hear, there is a drop in the pitch whenever I release the register key. You don't have to worry about the note cracking or falling low as long as everything else, like your air support and your embouchure, are right in place. Again, this works for G all the way up through thumb C. Now, as you get into the altissimo, there are some fingering considerations that can help with pitch and with technique. My first suggestion is to experiment with overblown fingerings for altissimo notes C sharp up through high E. What you can do is continue fingering like you would for the chromatic scale, and this will produce C sharp up through E. You're going to finger F sharp to start on C sharp, but you're overblowing, so you produce that higher note, and then ending on E with the A key. Listen as I try that out. So as you can hear, some of those notes sound really clear. Some of them don't, which you can just hear. That's not the best option on my instrument, but it might work beautifully for you. For all of those notes except for high A, you can keep the register key open to adjust for control, stability, and for pitch. For comparison, listen to me play that regular. So you can hear there's a lot of stability and control in the regular fingerings as well. I would need to go through and decide between two notes back to back to really find the best option for my particular instrument, and I encourage you to do the same. Now, as you ascend into the extreme altissimo on the E-flat clarinet, you're likely going to find that it becomes very flat. Here's where it gets kind of fun, and you can really personalize these fingerings for your instrument. My best suggestion is that the sky is the limit in terms of how to make a note happen. So for example, you might be trying to play an F sharp regular and find that it's actually really flat. On your B flat clarinet, probably the banana key helps, and that will help here as well. What I find for my E flat clarinet though is that I also have to open this C sharp key over here. On my B flat clarinet, that would be way too sharp. On E flat clarinet though, it really helps. Listen for a comparison. Here's regular. Then I'll add the banana here, and then open with the pinky. As you can hear, that changes with the addition of every finger. Like I said, the sky's the limit. F sharp is one example, but you could try that with any number of notes in the altissimo on E flat clarinet as well. Thanks so much for watching this video on E-flat clarinet tuning tips. I hope this was helpful, but if you have any other questions, feel free to leave a comment below. Thanks again for watching, and happy practicing.